first ban by Unicorns.
And now that obviously is a change up from the Echo. If they're not giving the Shen over, now they're giving the Echo. So potentially we'll see Odoamne take it in the first rotation.
If they're really so afraid of Echo, when they then ban the Shen, technically they should also then be banning the Echo. But Rek'Sai comes in, this is where the Vladimir first pick, you know, the big alarm starts suddenly...
No, that was earlier. That was
earlier. That's true.
Card.
That's true. That was when Prolly was sitting in Jankos' chair. But now, H2K is like, we know Vladimir is an option as a first pick, or Sivir could also be an option right now.
It's also going to allow through the Taliyah later in the draft, wouldn't? We've seen it first picked in LCK. We've seen it first picked other regions as well. Not so much in Europe. So we're on track right now. Where would we estimate? Elise is still available, but Move hasn't played a whole bunch of it.
I mean, this for Unicorns of Love, either it's like first pick Elise to remove that from Jankos, or we're looking at that Sivir pick that is the strongest AD carry right now. Like, that's kind of the two options. If you're H2K, you can leave both open, you get one of them. Because like banning the Rek'Sai as well now, they actually do ban the Elise that we talked about as the first pick. Like, Sivir stands out.
Ooh.
First picking Gragas.
No. At this point, if the Echo wasn't available, it would be Nah. But man, this tells you everything you need to know about the matchup between these two teams. In the Gragas, to even get a tier 1 jungler or tier 1.5 for Move is that important.
If you're H2K, you draft Sivir here.
Yep.
And then later you can get something like Hecarim if you want, and just run like a full bulldozer composition where you can just consistently dive the backline and you just have... Because like Gragas won't threaten your jungle in the early game, so you can pick the farming jungle. Like Graves as well can be picked. Here, like you should go Sivir for sure if you're H2K, like get the best Echo. AD carry. And then you can take the Echo if they value that highly, or you just take Gnar yourself. Like you just go Gnar Sivir and you're like, well, what are you gonna play top now?
Chachi would likely then pull out the Aurelia, the later
Probably.
go.
And then you can just camp that lane, like G2 did.
That's also true. Yeah, exactly.
Unicorns don't seem to have too many options here as the timer ticks down. H2K, they do get the Gnar and the Sivir, so that's locked in.
So with Gnar Sivir, we may see the Aurelia come out from Chachi. We know he's a big Aurelia player. The Taliyah is available, and now previously in the playoffs, Exileh has not shown us the Taliyah since she was released.
That is one of the big things about Exileh in his champion pool. We were looking at his solo queue, and actually been playing a lot of Taliyah lately. So it was like, oh, this might be an option.
Oh, the cannon.
But I want to see it first. Yeah, we know this is another Chachi counter pick to the Gnar. But the same problem lies here for Cannon is that if you put jungle pressure on that lane, that Gnar get a Hex string, and then he's gonna be okay. Like, Gnar can lane against almost anything. Yes, he might get pressured a little bit, and Gragas is the jungler for Unicorn, so it's not like they're screaming early game aggression with the jungle pick.
Yeah. However, we had Maxlor on the desk for the day before they played against the Unicorns. He said to me, the one thing I'm afraid of is that Vizicsacsi's going to play something stupid that's only lane focused, like a Kennen into the Gnar, and then they're going to wreck us with it. And then they played Kennen into the Gnar, and they wrecked them with it. So I hope H2K aren't underestimating this.
They will definitely not. And they also knew this was an option.
Yeah,
of
course.
Like, you don't pick this against Unicorns.
Like,
wait, Kennen is a thing, you know? In this situation, Taliyah is a great pick for Rio. When he's played in the past, he's actually been very good. H2K has normally done really well when they have these very active, like, global kind of competition.
Okay. See the Nidalee back.
I guess we can also just outpace the Gragas. If we are Jankos.
Great for the matchup, not so great for the team as a whole the later you go when it comes to having a focus. You can get fights started with the Taliyah, you can get things going, get the Nidalee poke down, but it's not the same as a Gragas, a Hecarim, for actually providing the crowd control that comes out. That's one of the reasons why we've seen the drop-off of Nidalee. It wasn't so much the nerfs that removed the auto-attack reset, it was more to do with the role of a jungler in a team, and Nidalee does not provide the same as the other tier 1 junglers.
All right, Braum locked in for Hylissang here, so they pair that with the Lucian. And as the timer's done, Exileh is putting all his eggs in the LeBlanc basket. This has been a favorite of his.
Yeah, he tried to do it against G2 and...
most solo kills on that champion.
Yeah, definitely. Like, he also got the solo kill perks in that one.
Yeah.
It is one of these like super high risk, high reward picks. A lot of mid laners don't like LeBlanc anymore. It's very hard to get early kills on her, so you have to run teleport and be a little bit of like a split pusher in a sense. And if you get into team fights and you are not ahead, you just do very little.
Braum opens up the Taric possibility, and then against the likes of the Kennen, the LeBlanc, we may see it. If you want the lane, the Karma is still there.
Or you can just go Trundle as well, if you want. Like, a lot of these melee supports are definitely an option here for H2K.
I personally think Tarek benefits them the most against the Kennen
as well,
against the LeBlanc. These picks that, you know, rely on having just small damage windows. If you can close one of those champions out in a team fight, suddenly, we're playing this team fight 4 versus 5.
Yeah, Tarek also considered a little bit of a counter against Braum, because it's so easy to predict when Braum's all-in happens, and you can use your Tarek ulti to mitigate it. Also, with the double stun, you can fire away. It's very hard for Braum to really protect his backline properly against Tarek. So this is actually a very good last pick, and one of the reasons it's so impactful to have that last pick support in this meta, because there are so many different ones, and they kind of change a lot. Like, this is a huge thing for team fighting, and we know Unicorns will love, like, their comp right now. It's a lot of snowball in there. It's a lot of focus on having a strong early game.
It's a lot of comfort as well.
A lot of comfort
when you look at it. That's what Unicorns are saying. It's like, hey, we want to win this game. We're just going to go for some sense of lane, a bit of fighting with a lot of comfort. For H2K on the other side, Sivir, Nard, the Tarek, great at team fighting. Talia can set that up for you. The only question to the puzzle is that Nidalee doesn't quite have the same impact, but what it will give Jankos is dominance in the early game against Move, and Move has crumbled when he's lost the early game.
Definitely had quite a lot of trouble. The Unicorns are throwing it all in with the comfort for this. Could be their final game here in the third place matchup. It is going to be tough for them to try and climb back. If you guys at home think they can do it though, think the Unicorn Magic is still alive, tweet hashtag UOL win with this composition at LOL Esports. Hashtag H2K win if you think they'll be closing this one out 3-1 on the series and claiming another third place finish.
We gotta look at someone like Chachi as well with the Kennen up in the top lane as this counter pick to Gnar. Chachi is a player we haven't really seen show up today.
No.
Last game especially was not good enough, honestly, from him on the Gnar when TP's away right in front of a Shen, gets taunted, and more things obviously went wrong. He gets a counter pick now. He loves to play these 1v1 lanes. Gotta see Chachi show up.
Gotta see Chachi show up. We need the whole Unicorn squad to show up, and we'll find out if they do. We're loading onto the Rift here in Krakow. Game number 4. Let's get hyped for it.
Getting hype, surfing in the middle lane with Talia. Finally, we're seeing actually a pick in this game. I've seen it banned in every single one prior to this in this best of 5. So we'll see whether it's enough for Unicorns to take the win here.
And
First stone throw.
We know Talia will just sit in lane and start perma-pushing from the start. First back from Rio, he gets a Negatron cloak. He doesn't get destroyed then by LeBlanc in the all-ins, and Exileh will probably have to try and find success roaming around the map a little bit more, actually sit in the side lane later and have that teleport, obviously.
Yeah, I'll see it coming at least. Fortunately, Talia is one of those champions, like Sivir, just explains exactly what she's about to do. Throw another rock. Every time.
Every time.
It's ice on this skin, at least.
Speaking of things being thrown, top lane, as you can see, Doran's played
I thought you were
for
going
those
somewhere different with
shurikens. No, I'm going to the auto attack presence of Kennen. A lot of people will wonder why Kennen is actually ever picked. Like, you can trade very heavily with the Gnar in lane. Typically, Gnar is good because of his auto attack harass and once you get hyper, but Kennen, the crowd control mixed in with it, the empowered auto attacks, making sure you can effectively trade with a high AD, makes it a successful pick in lane. Outside of that, it's more about flanking, getting the right positioning in fights, and getting the crowd control locked down.
We get to see the same kind of early wards from H2K. You see the one just here at the blue buff, just to simply spot where is Move starting on the map, and then you kind of draw out his path very often. Vander gets a little stun on Hylissang.
Oh, gotta be careful. Oh, the always gotta respect the Braum passive.
But one guy's trading into support while the other
one.
guy's trading on the AD carry.
Yep.
So it is a potion used by Vander, no potion used by Forgiven. And if he lands another boomerang, then Veritas is gonna find himself pretty low.
Oh yeah, and just like you
Exhaust
say it,
comes out.
very quick exhaust onto Forgiven. Already starting to have a field day against this combo.
And that's a potion used now by Veritas very early on in this laning phase. And all they basically accomplished was actually push a big wave into the tower of H2K.
And Forgiven.
And also use your exhaust.
Farm that one out as well. Didn't get that one, but it's okay. It's okay. And generally, Forgiven will just collect the rest of this and be fine. Jankos hasn't met Move a little too early in the game for that yet, but as we crest the 3-minute mark, this is where the potential for both junglers to converge in the bottom lane actually arises.
And when you see enemy jungler start blue buff, you know, okay, he's going to smite blue buff, so he's not going to do Gromp. That means he's going to path towards the bottom side, and that's what Jankos knows, and that's why he can now walk into the jungle and try and look for that Gragas, see if he can find him. Another trade in the bottom lane where once again it's Vander taking the damage on the side of H2K. He still has potions. A lot of early sustain for these supports. Move is trying to pull up that early gank again.
Oh, right in there, Forgiven. Didn't know what hit him. Another auto attack and first blood for Veritas.
The bot lanes in this game are not respecting the early ganks. Both teams have done this in multiple games now.
To be fair though, that one was really hard
sick.
to predict because Jankos was actually in the jungle trying to find him.
No, I can
Didn't
tell
get
you
to
why,
see him.
Official. I watched the lead up to this. Jankos placed a ward on Krugs and saw
Did
them
you see him?
die. He
Oh
saw the
my
Krugs
God.
were gone and dead right as he was coming away. Unless it was a split second away, he also saw the blue ward go down in the enemy jungle. I was watching it on the minimap because Jankos was trying for the Tribush gank and got denied. This time, H2K either did not communicate it or did not respect the potential for Move to be in the bottom lane.
Yeah, just re-watching it over here. He does see the ward go down, so they know Move is on bottom side. Don't see what HP Move is on. They just see the Crux die. They have no idea if Move is on like 50% or 20%, whatever it is. He's obviously fairly healthy after taking that red buff earlier. And then, yeah, just goes to bottom lane. And clearly, H2K's bot lane did not expect a Gragas to just appear over the wall.
See it again.
Yeah, you get the ward, and then you get another ward seeing the Krug die here, but not the HP of Move. And then the step forward near the wall as well. No vision in the river. And he just body slam flashes. Oh, beautiful gank.
Great execution,
Oh, yeah.
but should never have been given that opportunity.
Good eye you have there, Stress.
Well
Look at
played.
the minimap.
Well played by the Unicorns. That was a really sick move from Move, who, as Exile dodging out Talia damage, the shove. Jankos hops onto Move, who hops his way over the wall, throws a barrel ahead of himself. Jankos is trying for a kill here, for some revenge, I should say, as he does sink in the spear, but he's going to be met by Veritas and Hylissang, and there's a party in the bot lane. Flash burn on both sides. Veritas looking for Jankos, but Ryu's already in the mix here, and Veritas is going down. Forgiven gets revenge.
Right now, we have a teleport Anna LeBlanc down the bottom
Move is
lane.
really low.
And another TP.
They're going
They
all
both
in.
cancel.
Everything.
They both cancel. Okay, everyone cancel. H2K picks up a kill though, gets to push a big wave into tower. Nothing for Veritas here. He goes down, already down in CS as well. Only thing he has going for him is that first blood. And then he dies and loses a big, big wave at tower.
Oh, for what should have been a fantastic play out of the Unicorns in the beginning, the old switcheroo lands with Veritas getting locked down and taken out. And man, this should have been a good early game for the Unicorns. They had that first blood where Forgiven just made a mistake in the lane, a very rare one at that. And it should have been enough to tilt this matchup. You could see Forgiven even going Cull here on Sivir. Not a pick we see all that often anymore, as generally you have a lot of time in the laning phase to sit back and farm up. They'd forced him onto a bit of a later path to this build, but here was the trade onto Move initially. This is the Nidalee into Gragas matchup, by the way, if you ever
Never just
wondered
1v1.
how this goes. I mean, first of all, Gragas loses half of his health to the Nidalee, as you would expect. And then Veritas ends up getting locked down. Actually didn't get hit by the crowd control in that. Oh, we're going back top. Hang on.
Mini Nard
It's
still
a gang.
there, and whoa, Odoamne slipped out of the move. Body slam there, nicely done.
Move going all in with the gank here, just body slamming forward. Didn't want to step in, trying to slow him down with the Q first, and then try and go for the body slam after the flash of Chachi, or Odoamne, sorry.
Yeah, well, Move has been going all on the ganking path, but unfortunately he's lost out on a lot of farm that Jankos has picked up. Look at that CS difference.
It's normal that Nidalee wins the CS
Yeah.
race, but not this much early on.
Double it, yeah.
Like, very early. But, I mean, that's kind of the payoff when you go for these ganks, where clearly H2K, despite seeing the guy kill the crooks, are like, he's not gonna, like, flash over the wall here, is he? Like, oh, what? He just did! You know, and you end up dying to some of these crazy ganks early, but it worked for Move.
Well, there's going to be more action down in that bottom lane sometime soon. Ryu has his ultimate. Exileh does have TP. One thing we didn't quite touch on yet in this game is obviously LeBlanc forced to bring that TP in response to the Talia being able to
You've
roam
got
too.
Weaver as well.
Well, as a matter of fact, it's the problem for LeBlanc is that playing like Ignite and relying on solo killing your lane opponent is very, very difficult in professional play.
That's true.
Oftentimes also with teams just going, players going like early MR, you just don't really one-shot them or destroy them. So you have to kind of run the teleport to get more global pressure later. Obviously to match Talia, but also just to have more of a role in a side lane rather than sitting on you know, as someone to spell with this, not teleporting it's really hard then to snowball the game.
I completely agree with you, Deficio. One man probably wouldn't after last week, and that would be Perks, who died 1v1 a couple of times to Exile.
I actually talked to him about that play, and he was like, no. I sacrificed myself for the team. I stopped him from roaming bot lane and get 3 kills by me dying alone in mid. So
okay,
we didn't get to see it. We didn't get to see it like in the game because camera was on bottom lane, but let's just trust him.
Yeah, okay.
He did die 2 other times though. So
yeah. Oh man, Perks has always got something to say.
he was ready to explain why he died.
He's been thinking about that one for like
I gotta say it.
Haunting him.
But Exile's always the guy that will try to go for the all-in. It's just the teleports coming in so much more handy. Unicorns are going to wander into that brush that H2K were spotted in, and they move on forward. Vander taking a big amount of punishment here from the calling. The barrel knocks him right back in. Summoner Heal on the hunt, and Vander is going to be able to get out.
Move is so annoying, honestly. Just going bot lane again with these crazy ganks he's pulling off. Didn't manage to get anything, and now mid lane.
Oh, Exile. Okay. Completes the channel, but Jankos is there. Exile can't really get in the mix and make anything happen. The spear doesn't connect on him. That's half the rest of his health bar gone.
Now Move is around mid where he's supposed to be trying to defend with his mid lane.
This has to be obvious, though.
But like his mid lane is so low.
Hylissang's coming up too.
Oh, he stepped in. Whoa, Jankos going low. A couple of rocks get thrown. Hylissang comes. And Ryu and Jankos, I think they realized there might be some danger in the future. They get out of town.
Yeah, so because Move went to the bottom lane, had to try and go for that gank, he only got the heal from Forgiven, and that was it. And then suddenly his mid lane is exposed. We know where the jungler is on the map. You can start sieging up with a ranged jungler like Nidalee, and you just get so much damage if you're H2K and that tower. 51 CS as well for Jankos. He's level 8 to level 6 now on the Gragas. So H2K, while they're only slightly hitting gold in terms of levels, they're looking great.
Yeah, and you can see Taliyah picked up that Negatron cloak, as you were talking about, going to really reduce the impact of LeBlanc actually being able to deal with the Taliyah by all-inning. Of course, that exhaust no longer available for the next trade, but Negatron cloak, so very efficient.
Yeah, it's actually crazy, the item in itself. It's 720 gold for 40 MR, but getting that 40 MR early. So in this case here, Ryu obviously has 30 base MR. He then runs with 13 MR from runes, and then he gets the Negatron cloak on first back, so he's on 83 now. Already at this point, he's going from your base armor to the Negatron cloak plus runes. Like, you take about 21% less magic damage now due to runes and your Negatron cloak if you're Ryu. So it's really hard for Exile to kill him because you have the base, which already gives you a lot. So he's sitting at like 40-ish% now in terms of just overall magic damage reduction. Have fun bursting through it very early as a LeBlanc. So instead, you know, you pack the teleport, you say, well, no, guys, I'm going to be a bit of a split push instead. But it's one of the reasons people don't like playing her, because it's so hard to get these early kills, and then late game, it's so hard to win team fights as a LeBlanc.
Yeah. Start pinching those pools, and you got to come up with something different. Exile, we really want that ward. Jankos throws the spear, dodged out this time. Exile's okay. 11 minutes in this game. H2K still holding the lead, mostly off of farm differential.
Well, there's a lot between the junglers. You're talking about farm differential, still maintaining
always draws your eye down.
A massive lead. But we haven't really seen too much from the top laners in this game. There are a couple of cancel TPs. You can see the CS advantage going over towards Kennen in this matchup has a significant advantage, but that will start to kind of fade away as Kennen's impact is going to turn towards team fights and looking for flank potential, looking to try and lock down some of H2K.
And we just see here, like, how hard it is for Exile to do anything because his jungler is always, you know, under pressure, is always behind. Where Jankos is like, you can always, when you see this matchup, just look at the river and see like who controls the river. Well, right now it's purely H2K.
And this is the one thing we'll see any Nidalee picks when they're actually taken due time and time again. Ryu gets away from the trade, is just come and help with the siege. It's not so much about killing, it's not really about opening a CS difference, it's about pushing the lane in and then trying to get that tower down. You can see how low it is. This is the one real utility outside of the easy farm, and you can see Exile having to deal with this by trading his health for his tower's health here, so it is a dangerous play if you don't have vision around the area, but there's no kill pressure.
Jankos gonna visit the top lane.
All right.
Hard for him to set it up against Kennen. He just clears away the ward instead, which also helps. It means Kennen has to be a little bit careful when he's pushing up, except for the fact he actually has another ward ready. He could just place that one and do exactly the same.
Fine.
But Odoamne is doing his job. Yeah, he's going to be slightly down, but he's just looking to scale on this Gnar. As long as his tower doesn't get chunked down really low, right now it's only like 5% down, so that means Vizicsacsi is not been able to really punish his lane, other than getting that CS advantage at this point. And Unicorns need more.
It's interesting priority here because Unicorns are playing defensively by putting Veritas and Hylissang middle lane. This now shuts down Jankos in the middle lane, but Move wants to go aggressively into the top lane if he can find an angle in there. They've put Exileh down in the bottom lane because, of course, the TP, so he can join fairly effectively. But we're in a 2v2 in the mid lane. Doesn't normally happen very often this early on.
Oh, Veritas dodges the dazzle. Jankos throws the spear, it goes wide. It's 3v3 here in the mid lane, and nothing will come of it for now. H2K still holding that 1,000 gold lead as Exileh puts the wave down bottom side.
Yeah, so Exileh, because it was Unicorns who made the rotation first, are actually able to push in these waves here, and then you can always look to roam a little bit. That's why pushing waves first is always so important, because it gives you the chance when the enemy team is standing and clearing the waves, well, you can move from your lane and actually do something else. Problem is, no one else on the map could actually move with him, so he just kind of peeked into the jungle and said, never mind. Does have full completed first item, and Exileh needs to get some pressure here so he can actually start doing something.
Ryu's trading better.
Ryu's winning the trade right now.
Yeah, and he's not fooled by the clone. Oh my goodness, Ryu going forward. He needs a few more autos to do it. One, and that's done. Ryu picking up Exile.
It looked like Exileh...
Wait, it's Hylissang alone.
Weaver's okay, he's out.
Okay, he just doesn't want to lose anything else. It looked like Exileh went back to the wrong platform. The path from one was his ult, one was his W, and it looked like he chose the wrong one because he jumped away and then back halfway towards Ryu. He didn't have any damage left to output at that point, and Ryu just takes him down. And I mean, an uncharacteristic one if that is the case out of Exileh. Normally his LeBlanc play is super clean.
Yeah, normally he's solid on it, but 2 games in a row now where mid laners have been banned away, they've been removed. H2K were fine taking that trade, like, yeah, we have tons of picks ready. Let's see the play again. So Exileh jumps in. Remember, Ryu has exhaust as well.
It's the ult pad he wanted to jump to, and jumps back to the original W. He lost track. This is something that, you know, if you've ever tried to play LeBlanc, it's difficult, but at this level, really, if you're pulling LeBlanc out, that's such a difficult, like, mistake to swallow. To make a play like that, it's difficult to try and use those Ws, but should be on point.
You've got to be able to shake a misplay like that off. Exileh, he's just not been able to snowball the Unicorns. The game plan, they need to get ahead in this mid laner, and this AD carry, it just hasn't happened.
Top lane as well.
Yeah.
I didn't know them.
Yeah, well, at least Chachi's not farming. Yeah, okay.
There is one thing about the way the map is now set up for H2K that they probably won't like quite as much as we see defensive ultimate used out from Sivir. And that's the fact that their Taliyah now is in the bottom lane. Doesn't have Weaver's Wall right now anyway, but obviously you want to be able to go to both lanes if possible. And the way that Unicorns have forced the 2v2 in the middle lane now forces H2K to even the numbers. And this is where Unicorns with 2 TPs can actually utilize this and use both side lanes. It means Ryu can only come mid. He cannot look for the top lane right now. And H2K, it's not bad for them, but it's also not what they're looking for.
Right, but for H2K, it's also about just holding the LeBlanc really and not allowing her to snowball. If you put the Sivir down there on her own, suddenly you actually give Exileh a chance to play aggressive.
Of course.
He can't do that against Ryu right now. Abyssal Scepter is already completed. He sits on a ton of MR, 60 MR from just one item. Again, he won't die 1v1, and then it's just about waiting for that cooldown on his ult to get rank 2, which he has now. And yeah, okay, you can only go mid. Sure, we would love to go to both lanes, but you have instant wave clear mid, you have a winning matchup on bottom side, and you have scaling in your favor. So H2K are more than happy, honestly, just kind of waiting out now. And this mid tower, by the way, super low.
So low. They're going for it. Here's the road.
Weaver's Wall. Veritas has to flash away. One ult traded for the summoner. They get themselves a tower, and you can see when H2K get themselves a first turret, they tend to win pretty hard.
They do. This first turret blood does give you a nice little boost of gold in the early game. And honestly, like, that play, again, it's H2K. They don't have to chase Veritas. They get his flash, they get the tower, they back away. Same as the last game.
Move is on the other side here. Odoamne did see him on the ward. Hylissang is coming as well. Never mind, because actually the rest of H2K could move into the river. So nothing really happening for Unicorns of Love. Not able to put Chachi further ahead. And Chachi likes to go this very defensive cannon build as well, where he goes Abyssal, Hourglass. No proto build like a lot of other cannon players likes to do. Hylissang comes in very late for him as well. So in this situation here, by him also being slowed down, this build comes in a little bit later. He needs to be really good in that first team fight. If he gets 2 items completed, that first team fight is where you need that 4-man cannon ult for Unicorns to really turn around.
Yeah. Probably's car's blocking the entrance again.
Again, probably.
They turn the alarm off this time. It's okay. We have a pause, and Jankos did manage to pick up the Cloud Drake before it'll happen, soloing that one out.
Yes, not exactly the prize of the Rift right now, but it's nice. It's a nice little boost.
Hey man,
to
it's
them.
free.
H2K would quite like to get themselves the Rift Herald, as always with Na. Get a little bit more of that side lane control. Just a little bit more presence, because we're kind of past the point now where the Kennen is going to dominate the Na. Typically at this point, once you got an item or two, you should be okay. Would like to see maybe a little more magic resist for Odoamne. He's got the Mercury Treads.
He's going to go Hexstringer now,
Yeah,
probably.
probably will as a follow-up. And once he's got that, he kind of laughs at the Kennen in lane.
But we also, what we need to see here from Unicorns is actually use the fact they have this double TP. So if you are Unicorns, we just talked about, Rift Herald value. Well, for Kennen, it's great as well, because you're trying to play 1-3-1. If you have this TP in the bottom lane against a Taliyah, and Kennen can actually push in the Na on top side, well, that's where you make a play. You put a ward behind tower, you TP in with the LeBlanc, and you try and all in for that tower and a kill, and then you can maybe take a Rift Herald after to kind of try and speed up the game, because if you keep playing these standard lanes where you don't make aggressive moves now, which sounds weird that Unicorns are not doing, because it's normally what they like to do.
Well, they're trying.
Well, yes and no. They're actually not trying at all. It was just they haven't used this teleport from Exile for anything. Like, we are now 17 minutes into the game. We haven't seen it being used.
He's just roaming down on his own.
So
without teleporting.
H2K is happy sitting back, playing this game where there's wait and farm. You need to see an aggressive, high-risk, high-reward play from Unicorns, preferably on the top side with a TP from Exile away from the Taliyah, to try and really snowball this game. Otherwise, in 10 minutes from now, H2K is going to be in prime position to win.
Well, they're already looking like they're controlling it in the early game now. Quick update for you guys, of course. It was a bug splat on Move's side, so as soon as he's able to load back in, we'll be getting right back into the game, but it's at 17 and a half minutes in, H2K still controlling it.
One of the most interesting things talking about Kennen, we don't see him too often. A lot of people will be like, well, his ultimate cooldown timer, that's the important one. It's actually his flash that tends to be the most important one. Proto Belt will let you a little bit further through, but if you don't have flash on Kennen, getting an optimal flank is not very easy. To get onto the back line and get in there, really that's what it's all about. So Chachi has to be sparing when he uses that, otherwise his potency for like 5 minutes just runs completely dry.
So now Move is sitting top lane. Right now, Taliyah is sitting bot lane. There is TP for Exile. Right here, Unicorns could have gone all in for that tower. Just literally move in with your jungler, place the ward behind tower, because then Odoamne knows, okay, I have to back away, otherwise I'm going to get TP'd on and I might die. And just force down that tower, speed up the game a little bit. The slower you take it, the more time you give H2K to just sit here and get the items, defensive item on Rio. Odoamne is going to get some magic resist now as well. He's going to be more than fine later on in the game as Gnar. It really is only like the Nidalee who gets outscaled, but Gragas on his own is not able to change the tides of the game. And when you have this big of a CS difference, not a whole lot
Exile needs to do some work here. Ryu is dodging, and he's even able to sidestep on that. Gets a 3-man knockback, but it is not enough to prevent the kill from Exile, but he needed help.
So Unicorns realized actually Ryu had no flash for just a few more seconds in the bottom lane, and went all in for that one. So good for Unicorns, good call. A few seconds later, Ryu will be able to flash away from this one.
And surf his way out.
And surf all the way back to the lane. They will lose a bit of jungle camps, and now H2K technically can cross-map play this and put pressure on top side.
Yeah, they can look for damage on the tower, maybe look for Rift Herald, depends on how Unicorns group. They're a little close, so Rift Herald would take too long here. So H2K won't get a successful cross-map, but they have set up the vision control around the enemy blue side jungle. It will allow them to make that play in the future.
So we definitely cut a Unicorn some slack here, because it was a good play going bot lane and actually taking that kill on Ryu without flash. Problem is you just gotta kill. And like a kill in itself, you need to get a tower down here. You need to open up the map. You have 0 towers at the moment as the Unicorns, 20 minutes into the game. You want to play 1-3-1 without a turrets alive. It is very, very difficult to do. Because it's so easy for H2K to defend and just like hide under these turrets.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to get deep vision when like mid lane turret is still alive and get into that jungle and actually set up that vision. You can see the jungle of H2K. Right now there's 0 wards in it. Because Unicorns are simply not able to push into that jungle with these outer turrets alive.
And people will look at this and think, what's the
they're gonna dive Ryu again.
They are.
Yeah, he's got his flash this time though.
But H2K, no, they should be able
spotted. Oh, he just hops right over the shove. That's the flash from Ryu. So flash is traded.
That was what they were looking for.
But now again, you can cross map one more time. Exile does have TP.
Oh, Nidalee's on!
Oh, Chachi!
That's the cross map.
Pounced right on him. Jankos getting that kill. There's your cross map, and H2K are moving up top side.
Wait, you 1v2, mate.
Whoa.
Calm down.
He just blocked him.
Try to buy some time, maybe. But seeing if we could actually pick off move. That's going to be tower now again for H2K on top side. And once again, Unicorns are not able to execute. All the focus towards Ryu. End up dying here. Exileh even used his teleport. I think he started to challenge it towards top side and then had to instantly cancel it.
And also the pushback on mid lane, which means there is absolutely no danger of H2K losing their mid tower once they all recall from this play. Rift Herald was gone after this, and then this was the play. So Gnarl into the wall. Chachi doesn't quite flash out at first. Flash is late.
Feels
Down
bad,
he goes. Not sure whether the flash was purely necessary. At that point, you know Nidalee already behind you and hit you with the spear.
Yeah, well, that was a lot of damage.
Milliseconds for him being like, oh, if I can flash spear here after the stun.
Yeah, but that means it's going to be down for him for a little while here. And as we talked about how crucial Chachi's flash timing will be to get involved in fights, I mean, that's what Unicorns are hoping to do with this composition.
Yeah, but same also with the TP for Exileh. Him trying to challenge it towards the top side and realizing, whoop, can't actually do anything.
They also need deep wards to do it, and I don't see any.
Well, that's again the problem when you have these out turrets.
Yeah, well, exactly.
You can still invade in and put up your vision. It just is very risky. Move has actually been around the enemy jungle, but not really been able to place any wards.
And the difference in style of composition is the big difference between why Game 2 was Unicorns. They were able to turn it around by team fighting their way effectively after the mistake from H2K. This composition can't really do what it's supposed to, as you said, without the objectives, without towers early, and they're getting caught in these skirmishes. This move caught out again.
Oh, he barrels Jankos right into tower range. Jankos is still able to pounce away. Meanwhile, Ryu continues to do work on the wave. Up top, Exileh and Vizicsacsi will look to try and trade, but you've already got Odoamne taking a tower down.
Yeah, Exileh and Chachi in the same lane.
Oh! He has to dash. Veritas trying to get out of danger here. Hylissang and move here for the defense, but look at the damage they're already dishing out on the turret. The Dazzle does not connect onto Hylissang. They've still got minions to work with, though, and they should be able to finish this off. They've got themselves an inner turret.
H2K not afraid at all. They have Taric ulti available, and this is because Unicorns put 2 split pushes in the same lane, all aiming for 1 tower. Well, H2K were already in position. I've got 2 towers for that 1
They're
tower.
not stopping. They're going down bottom side here. And look, they've got Hilly against the wall, and he is just evaporated. Jankos gets the kill credit. Veritas is still here. Chachi comes in, but it is way too late. Moves arrived now. The minion wave is gone. They've got half the damage on the tower, and they find Exileh. Going for the wrong LeBlanc, unfortunately. He's already flashed out, but still way too low for this defense. H2K can keep on pushing.
And this is one of the worst positions for Chachi to be in. Oh, here comes Ryu.
Oh, Vizicsacsi move. They're all separated. Veritas still trying to get the damage out. Odo was a little bit low there, but they are still doing work, and they take down the inner and bottom.
Great use of Talia ulti here to just zone away half of Unicorns of Love, forcing them very far back on the map, and then you take that tower. That was 3 towers for H2K. And everything Unicorns got was a top tower.
Yeah.
2 members going straight forward and leaving mid open, leaving bot lane open.
Unicorns behind the play consistently this entire game. But, you know, Chachi TP's in on his tower and then is trying to come in through the front door on Kennen. His ultimate's still available because he was never getting that opening to go forward. As soon as he even takes a step forward with Lightning Rush, he's going to get shut down. Taric ult's going to come out. He's going to end up doing nothing. So this TP actually does nothing to help Unicorns of Love in this scenario. He has to come in from the side. There are no wards there. And Chachi just stands here. He doesn't have enough wave clear. He cannot get into this fight because he got his flash burned earlier, and it means it's an easy set of pickoffs at the side.
Yeah, greedy play from Exileh as well, jumping in, trying to assassinate Jankos when Ryu with exhaust is like right next to him. Like, yeah, you jump in, he's gonna exhaust you, and then you're forced out.
This is starting to look a lot more like the last game. H2K managed to finish that one out in 29 minutes. We're hitting 25 here. Unicorns, they have to find answers fast because they are running out of options in this 3rd place match.
Definitely, like, the next big team fight is where Unicorns, with flash from Chachi, with rank 2 ulti, 2 items completed. Again, you're gonna get Black Cleaver on this Lucian soon as well. Like, you have to be able to win that next fight if you're the Unicorns of Love. Otherwise, H2K will again just be able to win every single fight out.
He knows.
Oh, he's gonna get
Well, more people are coming.
Does have some friends. There we go. The Maelstrom's on. They do get the stun up, but Odo is about to go Gnar! And he hits Chachi up against the wall. This is gonna be really bloody now, and they take him down. Odoamne finishes the job. Spear still lands after the flash. Jankos looking to hunt down more, moving Veritas around the backside, but H2K, they will not be stopped. They will not be stated. They're looking for more. They've got it on. Ryu just separates them all, and they're taking him down. Jankos will fall at the end of it, but it doesn't matter. Double kill over to Forgiven. That is a 3-for-1 trade for H2K.
Another huge fight in favor of H2K. They tried to get the engage from Chachi and the Unicorns, but it wasn't quite enough, and the rest of H2K filter into the bottom lane. They have the Taric ultimate to keep them alive. They catch up, wall them off, and H2K crack another inhibitor in this series.
25 minutes in, they managed to do just that. They are rolling their way forward, looking for this third place finish. And they're looking like they definitely can take it.
All right, let's see the fight again. So Chachi pushing for the tower, gets ganked by Odoamne and Jankos, and while the rest of Unicorns are running towards the bottom lane, they're not able to be here first, and good disengage from Jankos. He was gonna be the target, but he jumps out, and now H2K is here. Chachi's basically out of the fight. Like, he has no ulti anymore, he's solo. Hylissang ends up flashing and still getting hit by the spear, that's taking more damage.
And then Ryu comes in.
And now Ryu comes in with the ulti.
Just comes up here, the very second it's up, bumps Veritas off to the side.
Yeah, just get him in prime position, take down a few more members of Unicorns, and we talked about it so much, how Unicorns have to do well early.
Yeah, we're right back into it. Veritas has already had
you guys are getting baited.
a big channel of the calling. Hold on a second. I don't know if we can
maybe
call that one. In goes Veritas. Oh my goodness, this is getting big. What a slicing maelstrom that was. And this might be the Unicorns finding a fight, or is it? They were a little slow to react with Move and Exile. Low health bars for H2K, but I don't know if they can get it. Exile picks off Vander, and they're looking for more, but Odoamne's got Meganar.
It's not quite enough though. Look at how little health the Unicorns have remaining. That was the setup that Chachi needed to get into the fight. The follow-up damage wasn't quite there in time from Exile, but Exile wants Ryu.
And Ryu wants Exile. They threw the exhaust out on him. He's already down way too low on health. The wrong LeBlanc gets popped, but it doesn't even matter. Jankos is going in once again. They stop Hylissang from hopping where he wanted to. He throws down the fissure, but he's already deleted. Ryu with another.
Crazy game now, just fights everywhere. Chachi had a great ulti, but he's not really dealing enough damage right now. Locket is already completed on the side of H2K as well, so he was not able to kill anyone. The very defensive build, plus the Locket from H2K, and then they managed to turn it around.
And from there, H2K can outlast them because Unicorns don't have enough tankiness to stay alive for extended fights. The crowd are behind H2K as they're taking down another Baron in this series. And they're going to back away and look to reset. Top lane, there was a TP that started and canceled Chachi.
Oh boy, Unicorns are really itchy trigger fingers here, but they're just not getting enough done. H2K are doing so well as a team. People are standing out on this roster all across the board. Jankos has done work on this Nidalee, by the way. The Poland buff is real.
Definitely been a great series from Jankos. Vander as well here on this Taric. It's a pick that really suits him well. But for Unicorns, I mean, the fights you've just seen, they would love to have these fights 10 minutes ago. You know, looking for the same kind of thing. But H2K has been outplaying them in this game, so this is the start. It goes a little bit crazy. Ryu is back at base right now. H2K is pretty far ahead, so they feel like they can go for everything. But now, Exhaust plus Locket comes in. That means Chachi not really able to deal enough damage with his ulti. And H2K can then turn it around. Move does a flash here, but he doesn't go aggressive with it. And they only get the kill on Vander.
Oh, we're back in
right to the siege. They've got the Baron buff. Not enough minions here to finish the job just yet, but H2K can take this one nice and easy. They have got a massive gold lead for themselves, and they're just looking to try and close this one out as methodically as they can. Odo in Meganar, he gets tickled by the LeBlanc.
Yeah, I was going to say Exile's a bit ambitious there. Just trying to push back the wave as much as he can. He's not actually looking for the all-in as Ryu steals his blue buff away. This tower's gone. There's no real way of the Unicorns saving that. However, if Chachi had his TP, there are wards spattered around, but he just cancelled it in the top lane and doesn't have his flash. So Unicorns are at the mercy of H2K just pushing constantly towards their base.
They keep on doing it. There's nothing left for them to take but the base turrets themselves. They've already taken out the inhibitor down bottom. They're still dealing with some super minions there. H2K looking to close this one out, looking to improve their position for Worlds. See if they can do it. Odoamne about to go Mega. They just keep on hurting these minions in here.
Yeah, H2K wants to make sure they've done their job here. And it's all about G2 Splice then, deciding if H2K will go to Worlds or not.
Ooh, move
right now.
Oh, he wants to make the Destiny his own, but it's not going to be enough. They throw down the Cosmic Radiance. No one from H2K is dying today. And they get right back in it.
Right back to the siege. Bottom lane is pushing in. Odoamne is pushing top. This tower is now gone as well. No one can stop him. And looking for a second inhibitor. The third inhibitor tower has gone as well. H2K, the last 2 games have been pure destruction when it comes to the Unicorns base.
Not much left for the Unicorns to try and do. They're trying to hold on as best they can. They've got 2 inhibitors, a pair of Nexus turrets, and that's all that stands between H2K and victory here. 30 minutes on the clock. They're just looking for the end game.
Do you want to go back and shop real quick? You want to make sure you got all the
Pick up an Ocean Drake. It's okay. Yeah, do it in
before
style.
you win. Yeah, do it in style. Go back, pick up your items, go back down, and then you have 2 open inhibs to fight around. Gonna be 3 now, actually, open inhibs to fight around. Like, you can pick whichever one you want, and you just take that team fight. Your composition is stronger.
Oh,
You've managed to shut down everyone. We might see Unicorns pulling off like the crazy Death Bush, just hiding there.
You know, there is a bit of desperation at the moment.
yeah, in the items purchased, I don't know how I feel about Duskblade, Ghostblade, Black Cleaver, Lucian. I'm not the biggest...
I mean, we like 2
It's
out
a
of
sharp
3.
build, but I don't know
Yeah,
about
I like
it.
2 out of the 3 ain't bad. And neither was this tower push, because
Look at
H2K
Mufi though. Comes in, actually ends up flashing after body slam is already done, and then also
shield was up.
fires a pull ulti, and now good ulti obviously from Vander. Great job, he clicked R, good for him. The skill of Terry ulti in fights. Oh, you gotta know the timing, to be fair.
So-
Yeah, that's important, man.
So normally Duskblade is built on champions that don't auto without a purpose of autoing, whereas Lucian likes to throw those things out like they're going out of fashion. Just
Desperate
get rid of them.
times, desperate measures. You know, something about that.
This is where it'll like get a kill and everybody will stop playing it. We'll be like, oh, maybe this is what works.
Good.
But
All right, well, they're going to have to survive this push again. As you said, 3 open inhibitors. H2K can choose whichever one they want. Odo just keeps on throwing out the autos and a few boomerangs for extra measure. Exile tried to get the execution off, but the Weaver's Wall cuts them all off, and Unicorns are forced to watch as their inhibitor goes down. Veritas does go over. It's not done yet. Oh, that's been hypey right on the backside. In comes Chachi. Can they get the fight forgiven going low? But Odo is already in Mega. Unicorns are getting melted through. That was the last grasp for them to try and hang on to their hopes. But this looks like it's gonna be it.
the last-ditch effort, they found the fight. They're too far behind. H2K have got it.
And that's it. H2K, it's been a long split for them, but they will claw back a 3rd place finish, and they are 1 step closer to Worlds.